Welcome back, YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about why I purchased Dogecoin today for the first time in quite a while. And it's really just because we're having an alignment across the board, and I really can't ignore it. We are technically getting back on track for a similar, at least right now in the early stages, we can kind of do some overlapping and say, okay, we can potentially have a somewhere in between a 2020, 2021, and a 2016 run. It doesn't look like we're going to quite have a 2016 run because we don't necessarily have like the hype, a lot of the newer the explosion of retail investors. We're certainly growing every month, but we haven't seen anything like 2020, 2021 yet. And also, we also have have to kind of account for the Elon factor and the tweets and stuff around that time. And it was just all eyes on Dogecoin for quite some time. But what we are seeing here is a rotation of capital, I believe, is going to kind of happen here relatively soon. When we see things like AMC, GME, and all that kind of stuff running, I believe that we're going to have a rotation of capital into the crypto market. And some of the indicators I'm looking at, one of the bigger ones that, if you've been watching any of my previous videos, we've been looking at the 14 and the 72. And we're having those kind of like the stars align on two of the major indicators for Dogecoin. Dogecoin is following a similar pattern. Obviously, this is because it tracks the entire market, which lets me know that this is going to Doge is going to have some of this allocation when it talks about the money flowing into the crypto market, not even just for Dogecoin, but in total, really. And so what we're looking at here is if we're counting into effect, like last time this happened was, you want to say like February or so, we went from around 1.5 trillion to a total of 2.7 trillion, right? So almost doubling in liquidity that's coming into the market, right? That's free cash coming into the market and into these coins, into these investments. So that's why we've seen things like Doge go from like 8 cent to 22 cent, Bitcoin setting its all-time highs prior to the halving. It's really a big deal, right? The time before that, right, the 14 crossed the 72 and the 200. And this was in October, which was, technically speaking, this was actually our bottom. But, I'll save that for another video because technically speaking, we've been on an uptrend ever since then. We'll have some sideways movement, but we've been trending up since then. But this happened here. We went from around 1.108 trillion to like 1.1 trillion. And then we went up around almost $1 trillion, about 800, 700 million. And then we doubled from there. So we're talking about basically doubles here. When we get these indicators crossing here. And the same thing that happened when we have these to the downside, it does not have a significant effect. And I went over that more in depth in my previous video, so you can check that out. But this is what we're looking at here. And I'm going to overlap this here with some other charts so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But this is what we're looking at. This is this strong amount of capital that's flowing into the market. And we're looking at a repeat here of the 14 crossing the 72. This is what takes us to that 4 trillion, 5 trillion mark. Now, my target for this market, I will say this here, as far as for total market cap, is around 10 trillion, right? So that's peak bull run if everything goes good. I believe we're going to have that Q3, Q4 mysterious election year pump to make the economy. I believe all of that's going to happen. So we'll kind of have to stay tuned for that. But my target for this run is around 10 trillion. So remember this right here. We're looking at the 14 curving up, crossing the 72, right? Golden cross, very strong signal. It's not something like a 7-day crossing a 21 or something like that. These are very strong signals here. And typically you are, and I mean, more likely than not, that is a very strong indicator of a very strong move to the upside here. So if you take a look here, matter of fact, I'm going to go to Bitcoin first, and then we're going to go to Doge because I want to show you how this is all playing together, right? So you see the very similar action. Obviously, most of that capital is going into Bitcoin, but you see very similar price action here in the candle, and you have a strong bend here in the 14 headed toward that 72 to get that golden cross, right? Very strong signal here for the market. It means that there's more capital to come, and more than likely we're projecting to continue this uptrend and that we've set the bottom, right? And now let's go take a look here at Doge. And this will get into why I started purchasing today. Similar price action, right? Following this here, Not bad for a number 8, number 9 coin, right? So similar price action here, 14, following the trend, getting ready to cross that 72 mark to the upside. Last time this happened, Doge ran from around 8 cent to peaked at around 22 cent, right? So that's how I got that 39 to 45 cent range. If we're repeating that type of momentum in the next leg up. Now, the reason why is because we're getting ready. We're already, the cross is already kind of being set in motion, and the biggest thing I wanted to look at is where's the bottom, right? Where have we priced in a very strong bottom, no matter what was going on, right? No matter if it was the CPI numbers, just the rally cooling off, people taking profits, and that number is right around 12 cent, right around that 12.84 mark. So you'll see us here. We went down slightly below it, but we closed right at it, right? And we have several tests here. I mean, even back in what is this, late April. We have mid-April, early April, right? Back in March, mid-March, and even early March, and late February. We have been very consistent with using this as a bottom for like the last, pretty much for a quarter now. And so if I was saying, okay, if I want to say, okay, what range would I be comfortable in, especially if we're getting ready to go to that next leg up? We've consolidated roughly at around 15 cent. This is typically where Doge spent most of its time. But when the trend got weak, when there was some um, unpredictable news, some shock value stuff coming out, where did Doge go? It went down to 12 and then it went back to 15, right? Did this countless amount of times. So for me, if I'm saying, okay, I want to increase my position here right before this run, this is ideal. This is ideal. The evidence is here. We're having something around that 12 to 15 range. The evidence is here. And typically, because most of my coins, for those of you who've been following me over the last few years, most of my coins were purchased below 5 cent. I think I posted one of my first trades on like a video like a while ago. Not a trade, but excuse me, my first buys. I think it was around like 2 cent or maybe like a penny and some change or something like that. I didn't get in below a penny. There's a lot of you that have better averages than me, but it certainly is. It was certainly beneficial to go as hard as I did early. I'll certainly say that. But now that we're getting ready to go into kind of like leg 2 of this run and really the second bull run for Dogecoin overall, if we're talking about trends, typically means that we will ascend very aggressively once we get out of the 20s. And also, we typically don't revisit these numbers. And that's not exclusive to Dogecoin. That's exclusive to, not, excuse me, it's not exclusive to Dogecoin. Most coins do not revisit the lows from previous cycles, right? So for me, it would just made sense. I was saying, okay, well, am I happy? It's like, yes, but it was just like, okay, you have some money available. So why not just go ahead and acquire some more here at some of these numbers here. So it's very great, and it's a good signal that we are looking to kind of close here. Obviously, this will take maybe a few more days, and we'll be charting this to kind of see, because we could go right up here and cross it immediately, or we could have like kind of like a flattening and then cross somewhere out here in like late May or early June. Obviously, we'll see how that trends out, but the market was great today. It spiced at an all-time high. We are seeing some pumps here with, like I said, with AMC and GME. So the retail sentiment is growing and very strong. So I believe that we're going to get this cross here very soon. We'll be charting it, but those are my reasons for coming back into the coin, and I'm acquiring some additional Dogecoin here, because I think that we're on the cusp of a very strong rally to the upside. And if you can verify that, I know I look at sometimes like long short positions, even here. This is what I was talking about earlier. Shorts have been coming out for over a week now, right? They are not taking any new short positions. And that tells me something there, that when the people that are using the coin to pretty much using the coin going down to make money, they're not confident in the coin retracing right now, right? So that lets me know something is up there as well. And if you see institutions, a lot of the stuff that's coming out, a lot of them were buying like GameStop and AMC like a month ago, 2 months ago. So it's getting to, it's about that time, right? So that's one of the things I'm kind of just positioning for. As I make additional adjustments, or as I purchase more, or whatever I do, I'll share that here with you guys. So make sure you have the notification bell on, because I think that things are going to start trending to the upside, and we're going to get to the fun part or the meat of this run here. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know if you've been buying more. If you, I know I posted this on X, and a lot of people said that they did as well. So this is, I guess I'm kind of feeling the market here and getting a sentiment for what a lot of people are doing. So it looks like we're all thinking the same thing. But let me know what you're doing here on YouTube. Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. We are still, my goal still is trying to beat Bitcoin to 100,000 by getting 100,000 subscribers first. And if we're getting ready to have this big move up, that means that time is of the essence. So if you've been thinking about it, please consider doing so. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.